just leaving for Norman's Cay. I know we've got the engine running, which sounds like a bit of a cheat, but we're actually sailing off the anchor, which is nice. Got a narrow gap ahead of us, with the tide pouring out. Yeah.
Worryingly narrow. When I'm at the helm.
And the reason why we've got the engine going is because there's quite a tidal flow behind us. And the wind is coming from behind us, but it's very light. So at one point the tidal flow may exceed the wind speed, and then we will have no flow over the rudder and we won't be able to steer. So the engine is on just so we could then give it a burst of propeller and get ourselves out of trouble.
Happy captain today?
Yeah, always. We'll go the wrong way.
Ben gets so grumpy when we come to sail to windward.
I want a miracle boat.
Hang on.
Use them muscles.
Put on easier set.
That cannot be on the easiest setting.
It is.
You do punish yourself.
I don't get any other form of exercise. Come on. Left arm as well.
Come on! Yeah, you've got to be there now.
Yeah.
Quickly. Sit in the breeze.
Got sweat on there. Today
Yes.
we've got our visa appointments in 2 days' time, so good wind today, and it's some really nice downwind sailing. We're doing 6 knots, so it's nice lazy sailing. Fish on!
Fish on.
Whee! Hope it's not a barracuda.
It's not fighting much, so I think it might be.
Oh
The barracuda seem to bite, swim a bit, then pull once, and then they give up.
no. We don't want a barry. Well, it is a barracuda, and we have killed him because we couldn't get the hook out without getting bitten. I mean, the size of those teeth.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even go near it, to be honest, not without a chainmail glove on.
No.
So, unfortunately, we've got barracuda, whether we like it or not.
I think they are good eating. I mean, I've seen other people catch them.
Yeah, we just need to check that there's no ciguatera risk up here. I don't think there is, but
if that's the case, we've eaten other fish that are big up here. It's anything over 1 kilo you should be wary about.
yeah.
So, but then again, I don't know.
But then again, the difference being that barracudas tend to be more territorial, don't they? And that therefore they eat from around one reef.
Maybe.
And then, obviously, if that's a ciguatera area, they get a high concentration of the fish around it.
We'll Google it when we get some signal again. But I mean, look at those teeth. That is so scary. That's why I don't like going swimming under the boat. Woo! Score.
Yeah, man, that came out of nowhere.
30 knots of wind.
Yeah, more than it. So I saw 30 on the gauge that's behind us. So.
And a hell of a lot of rain. Give the boat a nice wash there.
Yeah. I'm going to heave to here in clear water because we've got such poor visibility. Some of these passes through the rocks are really difficult.
Yeah.
So,
not ideal conditions to be going through dodgy passes, is it?
No. So we'll furl up the head sail and then just turn into the wind.
Yeah. So explain what heaving to means then.
Well, heaving to means for this boat, which is a ketch rig, we take away the head sail completely, so furl it up, spill all the wind force from the main and bring the boat up to about 30 degrees to the wind, and then just pull a bit of power into the mizzen. So we sit there with the mizzen being the only working sail, the helm all the way over, pretty much all the way over, or 3/4 of the way to cross the wind, so it's pushing up into the wind. And you get into this balance where you just drift along, sort of downwind, almost side on, but pointing slightly into the swell. Yeah. It's usually pretty comfortable, and if you get it dead right, you get a slick of water that sort of rolls under the keel as the keel's sort of driven sideways, and they say that is supposed to stop breaking waves hitting you with such force. So anyway, we're going to sit for a little bit. Hopefully it's looking clear already. I mean, I can see land, so.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, isn't it? If the wind drops completely, then you can't really heave to, and that's when you lose it, which it just has.
Just gone over because the wind died to nothing. Really, I mean, you usually never bother unless you've got 20 plus knots. But so we're going to go all the way around now.
And unfortunately, Barry went for a swim.
Oh God, yeah,
we
so
felt
bad.
Awful about that, but
killing a fish for no good reason. But
we read up about it.
We got a bit of internet for a minute and Googled it, and yeah, they call it Barry poisoning over here in the Bahamas. So you don't eat barracuda, you don't catch it, you don't eat it, you don't do.
But we couldn't get the hook out without damaging it really badly, so.
No, unfortunately, he was so well hooked there wasn't any option to land him, and I didn't realise then. But next time, well, we're not going to fish anymore.
No, we won't fish here.
They seem to bite more than any other fish, and if you can't eat them, there's no point in catching them.
No, it's not fair.
Sorry, Barry. So what are you doing?
We're making kind of, I wouldn't say they're like fish fingers like we have at home, but they are basically big chunky fish goujons. So this is the last of our Spanish mackerel. We thought we'd have these with mashed potato.
And baked beans.
Oh yeah, fish fingers like baked beans.
Yeah, fish fingers, baked beans, mashed potato. Unfortunately, Barry didn't make it into the batter, did he?
Nope.
No.
I didn't fancy Barry fish fingers, fried Barry. He was looking a bit evil, and he's probably going to poison us. So.
Yeah, he had that "I'm going to poison you" look in his eye.
Yeah.
Good morning. It is the day after we went to do our US visa applications here in Nassau. It all went smoothly. It wasn't actually too much of a hassle. They've told us that they have approved the application and that we're going to end up only waiting 2 to 5 days, I think, and we've just found out that the generator won't start again, so I think it's time to actually strip it down completely. That means taking the head off and trying to get to the bottom of it. It's either sort of low compression or maybe a problem with the injector or something like that, but the starting's got worse and worse endlessly ever since we've had the boat, so it's time to give it some TLC, and we've got the time now, and there seems to be relatively good sort of yacht support. There's a lot of sort of chandlery places and sort of a few mechanical engineers places I see around, so definitely the best place in the Bahamas to do it that we've seen so far, so that'll be the best use of the time. I've just started to strip this down. I thought instead of just pulling the head straight off, have a look at the glow plug. Just pulled it out like that, and the wire isn't even attached to anything. It's just it's corroded completely off its little terminal. So I'm going to just replace that wiring and then put the glow plug back. Well, test the glow plug and then stick it back all together, and hopefully we'll have working generator again. And I'll leave it for now. I didn't want to have to try and take the head off, because this is a gasket, the cylinder head gasket here. I had it apart when it bent a pushrod back in Portugal, and I didn't have a head gasket, so I used the old one with some silicone. When I took it all apart, this bolt here was, this head bolt was seized, and I managed to get it to work again, but it felt like the thread was going to go, so I think if I take the head off again, it'll strip, and the only option then will be one of those helicoil things. So I can't get that here. I could probably get it in the States, so I would prefer to do this strip down in the States. So I just put a connector block on the wire, cleaned it all up. Now if we get a little bit of lovely saliva on the end. Seems to be working a lot better. Again. Yeah. One working glow plug. So I'm desperately trying to scavenge what I can of our footage and completed episodes off the internal drive of this computer. Has got bad sectors in it or something, I don't really understand, but it's struggling to read any information whatsoever and keeps stopping. Pretty much everything we've tried to get off there so far won't play through. Someone's not happy.
It's not good.
No, that's the end of this computer unless we can find another drive, really. Bummer.
What else is broken today, Ben?
The hot water system doesn't work now, so although the generator works fine, or as good as it used to, if I click the switch nothing happens, the light comes on but we don't get any hot water, so I think it means the element's gone in the immersion tank. We have a spare, but it's a bit of a job to change it, really.
How come everything happens at once?
I don't know, it's not like, we haven't used it for about a week.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
I haven't washed my hair for a week then.
You can't see the access hole that I have to work through. So I have to try and use a mirror and a torch to see what's going on. Without taking, I can take everything out of here and dismantle that panel just to get to it. But I mean, it's why I don't know why there isn't a cupboard there. I don't know.
It's one of those days today, isn't it?
Yep.
Everything's ball like. Starboard. We need to get off the boat.
We need to get off this boat. We've been stuck on it now for what, 2 days? Stuck in Nassau.
Waiting for our visas.
Waiting for our visas, and we got cabin fever real bad. It's just there's nothing to do ashore. There's like you can't even walk anywhere because the traffic's so bad and there's no pavements, there's no parks. There's no beaches. So we're just stuck waiting, and getting the engine bay tidy up, I think. How's it going over there?
Somebody stole my hammock. I'm having to fix the other one.
Yours truly. Yeah, I did jump in her little spot.
This is my grave.
This is the big one. By the time you've retied that, it'll be raining. This is what waiting for your visas is all about. Hot, sweaty, humid.
Drinking beer.
Drinking beer. The old Galley there.
Pretty hard work.
It is hard work. Have you made it too high?
This is when you find out if I can really tie boat in.
Oh!
Yes! Yep.
Just hanging around.
Yep.
What I could really do with some exercise. Oh. So our thoughts on Nassau, or Nassau, or Nassau, or however you bloody say it. We can never say anything. Can we ever say anything right? The one thing we've really noticed is there's a siren going Like for every part of the day and night, there's always. Can you hear that in the background? But yeah, it's one of the rougher places we've been, maybe.
Well, we haven't seen any signs of it being like really rough, except for obviously the sirens. We heard a lot of reports before we arrived about, you know, be really careful, and other people saying, oh, we felt really uncomfortable there, and there's people like shouting stuff on the street, but well, we haven't seen any of that. But it's just a city, isn't it? So it doesn't hold any appeal for us at all. I mean, we wouldn't come back here just because we don't tend to gravitate towards cities unless we've got something to do there, and in this case it was visas.
It's a crazy, crazy day on anchor. I'm watching this aluminium one here who anchored next to us yesterday evening, and now everyone's flying around on their hooks. Just the catamarans handle so much differently to the monohulls. I mean, everybody bumping into everybody. But yeah, fenders at the ready at the minute, they're not on board. It's getting a bit too close. And as the tide goes down, it's only going to get worse. Because everybody will have more chain to drag around on. So they're going bigger and bigger circles until everybody's touching. We are almost touching.
Picture frame, an old motel. Guess that we're just sinners. Living room with a rotten smell. Guess that he's a killer. Said I don't know where I'm gonna go with these tired bones, but seen the world in there.
Seahawk, Bora Bora.
Hi, Bora Bora. Seahawk.
Have you seen where Max is?
Yeah, he's pretty far out, but he's on his way back. I think he's on the deck here.
Cool. I just thought he maybe decided to go to the States on his own.
Well, maybe he did, yeah.
It's almost on the horizon.
So bad.
What happens when you're anchored around a load of Dutch people?
Yeah. Yesterday they made dinghy noises on the radio for about 10 minutes non-stop. That's what all day drinking gets you.
Yeah. So we finally got our US visas this morning. After 6 days of waiting, we picked them up, and we've cleared out the Bahamas, and we're en route to the States. So we're really excited. We're just leaving Nassau now, and we have got potentially a 3-day trip. We're just going to go north, and we're going to try and get as close to Charlestown as possible, but we might end up going to Savannah or any other port of entry further south in South Carolina. The weather predicted is big swells and strong winds. And our friends went to Grand Bahama yesterday, and they had up to 5-metre swells just behind the beam and 30-ish, 30 plus knots just forward of the beam. So it's going to be a rough ride, I think. If it's too much, we can stop at Freeport in Grand Bahama and have a rest there. And if it's okay, we'll carry on. And I think, to be honest, it's only going to be bad for the first night, and then it should chill out, because then we'll turn more and it'll be behind us. The wind will come sort of round. So yeah, I think we'll be all right. We're gonna put the main up in a minute with 2 reefs in, because it's already blowing 20, gusting 25 or more. So yeah, we're just gonna be well reefed up and prepared. I've already cooked dinner for tonight, so if it's, you know, bad, we'll just batten down the hatches and hope for the best.
It isn't that bad.
At the moment, we're still protected a little bit though, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think the swell direction should come over here. Can you pick that up? Thank you. I think the swell direction is like this.
Yeah.
So at the moment we're hidden behind the line of islands here, and I think there'll be a point at which you get it wrapping round, and then you will get big seas on the beam.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be in the middle of the night.
Probably. It's always when it's most fun, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad we put this one side on, because we've had a few waves over already, so...
Yeah. You'd be very uncivilised to get wet while sailing.
Of course, we don't do that sort of thing. We try not to. Not always successful.
No.
So, 3 days, possibly?
If we're going to go all the way, if we have a really rough night tonight, then we'll probably stop at Grand Bahama and just rest. And then probably cut the jump north short and go to Cape Canaveral.
Yeah. I hope we do get a good passage and go all the way, because
nice
I really want to get up there now.
I want to get to Beaufort in North Carolina, but I don't.
Nah.
Okay, they're getting bigger.
Woo!
Right, well, last night was a real tough night. I had 30 plus knots of wind most of the way, got a massive wave through the hatch which soaked the bed and the aft cabin. It has calmed down an awful lot now, because we're actually sort of in the lee of Grand Bahama as we're approaching Freeport. We're not going to stop at Freeport, we've just come close enough to get a weather forecast through the cell network, and then we're going to decide whether we anchor off West End, Grand Bahama, and wait for the winds to come round more from the south, because the minute they're forecast to actually be ahead of the beam if we head north up to Charleston, which is our sort of goal at the minute. But if we wait for the wind to change, it looks like we won't have enough time to get there, and we'll get caught out with winds coming quite strong from the north against the Gulf Stream, which will be, I would imagine, very uncomfortable. So whilst it's calm now and the sun's out, we're going to try and get the bed outside, dry it out, download the rest of the forecast, and we've got some charts we need to download whilst we've still got cell service here, and then that'll be about 5 hours from here to the west end of Grand Bahama, where we lose its protection and have to decide whether we anchor. So we're going to prepare some food, get some rest, and make that call in about 5 hours' time.
just as we decide on a plan, the wind decides it's going to basically do the opposite to what was forecast. So it's pretty much, what was it, northerly?
It's not quite, it's got a tiny bit of east in it.
Which means we can't go today.
Yeah, we can't even make Cape Canaveral.
No, can't make Cape Canaveral either. So we're going to end up having to anchor on West End, which is the end of Grand Bahama Island, and that's even going to be really hard to get to. So we can anchor there for the night and then hope it changes tomorrow, but I don't know, without accurate forecasting, what can you do? I mean, it's literally the opposite to what it said. So watch this space and try and figure out a different plan.
So this is the forecast we got from, well, this one's predict wind. The others I've used a pocket grib, and then windy TV or windy TY, and they all say almost exactly the same thing here, that you have a tiny bit of north in it at the minute. This is right now, and the reality is the wind is at this angle. It's nearly blowing in northerly, which with the Gulf Stream going that way and the wind coming like that, it's going to be extremely rough. Plus we can't sail at that wind angle. We can't even make Cape Canaveral here. So it's a complete fail. We're going to have to give up and anchor somewhere on the end of Grand Bahama down here and wait. I'm just going to have to lick my finger. Anyway, wind's over. I don't know what we're going to do. This is a really bad anchorage. It's the only one available down there. It's completely unprotected from with anything with any north in it, but I suppose that's my fault for not leaving us any other option.
What just happened?
It's like a webbing belt that holds the top of the second genoa up. I think it must have been chafing on something and rubbed through. So you just let go from the halyard and came sliding down its track with the other sail still up behind it. And I was like, why the hell, what was that bang? And then what's all that flapping noise? Because I couldn't see it because it's behind the other sail. And yeah, then it all started to spill down into the water. So we just gathered it in, disconnected it at the tack, and I'm just really glad that happened then. And not at like 2 in the morning in the Gulf Stream with northerly winds against us and big seas.
Definitely. There's a reason for everything, isn't there?
Yeah.
So back to one jib. Reefed up at the moment, it's blowing just over 20, so, and the other sail's out there behind the dinghy. It's all fun and games.
Yeah. So we've decided to take a break and anchor off the very western tip of Grand Bahama. It's not an anchorage, it's just a bit of coastline. We're going to go for this area up here, which is supposed to be 5 metres, and then we're going to anchor and get some rest, and then the wind is supposed to be coming round a bit more to the south, which should help us a lot, so we're just going to wait until the wind changes direction a little bit and get a few more degrees on it, and then we'll set off again. Hopefully it'll drop a little bit in strength because at the minute it's blowing 25, so that's the plan.